Growing up, you hear a lot of different statements, sayings, and you think about it. You give it, quite a bit of thought, especially when you get to a certain age in your life. And these couples kind of stick with me, such as, the fruit don't fall too far from the tree. And if the tree don't bear any fruit, it needs to be cut down. And so when I think of terms of the fruit don't fall too far from the tree, you're thinking about whether it's your mom or your dad, a parenting problem. And it's kind of taken in a negative connotation sometimes. It could be positive connotation. All right. So you think about if something most of the time is thought of negative. And if the child is ignorant or is, performing any type of negativity, and the parents is that way, or the mom or the dad, that's the first thing to say, oh, they don't fall too far from the tree. We expect that, you know. So when I think in terms of, do you still have to be a part of that tree? When I think about a plant, and if you cut the plant and you take that stem and put it in a, a glass of water, and the tree roots come, and then you replant it again, I just feel like sometimes you can just cut yourself on off. Be the new stem that create new roots for something more positive. You don't have to carry on a negative root. Cut yourself off. Say, I don't want to be a part of that plant, and that's okay. All right. When we think in terms of the tree don't bear no fruit, well, we're talking about whether or not this tree, if you're not bearing any fruit, you're not producing any fruit, then the tree need to be cut down. So what it used to having a tree up, a dead tree up, and it's not producing any fruit, meaning something positive, something that you can carry on. That's from generation to generation in terms of being able to, is this tree being successful? Is it nourishing, from generation to generation? Is this tree, and it takes nourishment to keep that tree going. If it's a dead tree, there's no nourishment, so everything about nothing gonna grow on that. And so yeah, the tree should be, cut down, like almost uprooted. Like you not what are you here for? So I think in terms of generation to generation, when it comes to a tree, and you want to bear fruit, and some of those fruits can be good. Some of those fruits can be rotten. Sometimes we can pick them, before they get ripe, and sometimes we should pick them when they're ripe. So, my whole thing with this is that I said to myself, I said, wow, I think it's just absolutely okay to cut a tree limb, a stem, and grow your own roots. And hopefully those roots turn out to be the most positive roots that you can carry and become a stronger tree to bear good roots. And we must make sure that it's always nourishment there. And so where do you find your nourishment? Who do you count on to make sure that it's nourished? And when I think of nature, I've just been absolutely amazing in terms of hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen that's providing, fruit and nourishing for our bodies as well. Also, the carbon, because it needs the sunlight. It needs the sunlight, the water. It needs the ground. And, it needs to be rooted. It's just so much when it comes to using that tree as an example about how we should not only co-create, but coexist. All right. So be a tree that is nourishing. Be a tree that is definitely bearing fruit. All right. So how you plant it is definitely going to be key.